This is the Transformers Studio Series, or Studio Series 86. 5 of 5 for Devastator. Actually, it should be 5 of 6 for a Devastator from Transformers, the movie way back in 1986. We have Constructicon Voyager class Mixmaster. Man, he looks great. Much better, way better, I think, in my opinion, than the Combiner Wars version, but we'll have to wait and see till we finish the video. Box art looking fantastic. I had actually pre-ordered this figure from Amazon, but it was taking forever. Just checked the app and it's supposedly out in October. That's way too long, so I asked my wife to pick up one for me in Singapore from Robo. Let's get this bad boy out of packaging. And here is Mixmaster out of the box, and man, I'm loving this figure. It's looking to be my favorite Constructicon so far out of all the 4 I've reviewed. The figure is very G1 in style. Love the colors, love the engineering. Details on this one is absolutely gorgeous. I'm loving it. I mean, it's so G1. Head to toe, the figure stands at about 15 centimeters tall, not including that canopy on top of his head, just from his head to his toe, or about 5 7/8 inches tall. And here he is with the 3 other Constructicons I reviewed: Voyager class, Scrapper, Deluxe class, Bone Crusher, and Scavenger. And I'm shocked that Scrapper is the shortest out of all these guys, and he's the tallest. I love both these 2 figures. I mean, in robot mode. I mean, they're so, I know why they were considered Voyager class figures, because they have to be hefty. They're the legs of Devastator. They gotta have some heft and some mass to it. These 2 are the arms. They don't need to be Voyager class figures, but it is looking good for this Constructicon team. So the figure does come with his G1 styled blaster pistol. I like this one. And if you didn't grow up in the 80s, you'd think he's a very corny looking robot, because he feels like he's got this perpetual, perennial overhead canopy or umbrella, so you know, when acid rain comes on Cybertron, he'll never get wet or whatever. But that's just the design of the G1 toy. The G1 toy was a mixer that you just transformed by moving the front part, turning it into legs, splitting the arms, and that was it. That was a G1 toy. And, you know, I'll show off my knockoff copy of the G1 toy once we do the Devastator final video of Devastator, and I'll show everything off. But yeah, he looks great. The details on the figure is just gorgeous. He probably has the most details out of all the Constructicons. I mean, sure, Scrapper had tons of details on the torso and all that, but this guy, even underneath this flap, look at that. This is the under chassis of the mixer, and they didn't have to sculpt too much, but they did. Look how much details they've invested, they've put in this figure, and I'm just really, really loving it. Some assembly is required. The cement mixer barrel is detached. You'll have to attach that once you take this guy out of packaging. Very easy. It's not complicated, just pegs. You just peg it in. Okay, as far as articulation goes, the neck is on a ball joint. It's a little difficult to get to that neck. You have to stick your fingers in and just really manipulate that neck. But it is possible to move it, get it some really emotive positions. And I love that head sculpt. It doesn't get any more G1 than that. Very cartoon accurate. The shoulders are on hinges. They allow you to move in and out, forward and backward 360. It's got bicep swivel, hinge elbows that move only 90 degrees, no wrist articulation. Again, no waist articulation. I think it's going to be a staple for all these Constructicons not to have a waist swivel. The hips are on hinges, allow you to do the splits. You can kick forward, backward, got thigh swivel, hinge knees, slightly hindered because of the kibble. And then he's got the rocker tilt for his feet. So to get him into his cement mixer alt mode, you want to remove the blaster pistol, set it off to the side. This back barrel, you want to open it up, fold out that cement loading port right there, and then just plug it back in. Okay, now the legs. The legs are probably the most difficult part of the transformation. So what you want to do is you want to open up these panels right here, okay, and then you want to go ahead and open up these panels slightly. You're going to close them up later. And then these heel spurs are going to fold back. Okay. And then you want to tab that whole front part of the cab, front part of the truck cab together. And then the instructions tell you to just fold, fold, fold. But the best way to do it if you ask me, is you need to bend the legs in the wrong direction. The knees have to fold in the opposite or wrong direction. So to do so, just start with that. Just hold on to these pieces right here and just fold those knees in the wrong direction. Once you've done that, it's going to be easy to bring him into his truck mode. So you want to fold this lower hinge of the legs, and then you want to fold this part right here, his rear end, and the feet, those tabs in between those legs, they're going to tab in his rear hole, and it will solidify the front part of the truck. Okay, and then these feet, you can go ahead and fold them up, flatten that undercarriage. Okay, and then this part right here, just fold it just halfway. And then you want to fold the arms upwards, collapse them, and they should tab here, here, and then here. So that will solidify the rear end of the cement truck. And then finally, you want to go ahead and cover up that face sculpt and just flatten everything. And yes, it will clear the floor by 2 millimeters. Or 1.5 millimeters. And essentially, that is the cement mixer alt mode of Mixmaster. And it is so solid. Hardly any gaps. Probably my favorite alt mode and transformation sequence out of all the 4 Constructicons I reviewed. I am loving it. Only thing really missing is this thing to spin, but they didn't bother doing that because of the way it transformed. The gun, you can store it here. And it is a super cool looking cement mixer truck mode. And you can already see that this thing, once it becomes Devastator's leg, is not going to need a DNA kit to simulate that front part of the cab of the truck. Unlike that Combiner Wars. I mean, looking at this now and looking back at the Combiner Wars, I really thought the Combiner Wars back then was amazing. But now, I think it was horrible because of that really weird looking cement mixer alt mode. So yeah. Now the instructions, once again, don't tell you how to get him into his combined mode. They want to keep it a secret until you get all the Constructicons, maybe at least until you get that Commander class set of Hook and Long Haul. But if, again, you are familiar with the G1 mythology and you grew up watching the cartoons, you know that Mixmaster is the left leg of Devastator. So to do so, first you want to unpeg this panel right here. Now, this thing does a good job of just collapsing everything and folding everything, and just like what they did with Studio Series Widow, you kind of paint yourself in a corner and there's really no way to get your fingernails in and just, you know, get the panels up because it is so well done. So if you have like a tool, use the smooth end of a tool and you can just pry open that panel, and then you unpeg the arms. This is my best guess. I didn't want to look at images of the combined mode. You watch the mythology. Okay, keep these panels up. They form like heel spurs. And then I guess you can fold up hands, and then you fold back that panel. And I guess this is the notch where you clip on one of the thigh pieces underneath long haul. And I guess that's it. There is a rocker hinge right here, a ratcheting rocker hinge, which the instructions don't mention, and that serves as his ankle to form his the left foot of Devastator. And I thought that's pretty cool. I'm just concerned that the lower leg kind of looks short. I'm sure there's a way to stretch everything out to form a more proportioned leg for Devastator, but as far as I can surmise, this is the leg mode of Mixmaster. And so some final thoughts on the Studio Series Mixmaster. Man, who says you can do a superhero landing with any of these Constructicons? Look at that. He looks cool even without a waist swivel in a superhero landing pose. I love this figure. I think this is easily my favorite out of the 4 Constructicons I reviewed. Him and Scrapper are probably my top 2. I really enjoyed the engineering, the transformation. Robot mode and vehicle mode are just impeccable. I love what they've done with this one. G1 details of the figure is just classic. I really like what they've done with these Constructicons, and I am so excited to have everybody build and combine them to form Devastator. Now, obviously, this figure is lacking in the articulation department. He's missing the waist swivel, bit more clearances on the shoulders. That would have really made for a very cool, very superposable figure, but alas, the waist swivel is really not in the cards for these Constructicons, I guess. It's really just an engineering constraint. But as it is, the figure deserves a solid 9.5 out of 10. Just an amazing, amazing figure. Let me know what you guys think of this Transformers Studio Series Voyager class Mixmaster, part of the Constructicon team to form Devastator. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.